First of all, a very happy New Year to all of you, and I wish everybody, all of you, a very happy and peaceful and healthy New Year. The most important thing this year, I think, more than anything, is health. So stay safe and do your studies. Okay. Today I want to discuss one remaining area which we have to discuss before the exam, right? Final topic, and then to discuss some past papers with you. And my plan is to finish everything this week and next week. I'm going to discuss some past paper questions, which I have already uploaded to the system, right? What you can do is, you have the time, please go through it, do the exercises, and keep ready for us to discuss at next week. Next week will be the last class, right? So by that time, I'm trying to finish entire syllabus discussing with you, plus 2 past papers. Is it all right with you? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. I don't ask me the most wanted question. I know everybody is waiting for that. When are we going to have the exam? That is, if I talk about UCP 600, and if I talk about UCP 600, I can give you the answer from UCP 600, the examination date, right? That is Article 30, Article 36, UCP 600, Article 36, force majeure, right? That is an act of God. IBSL is not responsible, like the banks, right? This is act of God. You know what is happening in the country, so we'll hope for the best, right? UCP article examination date, right? Today we want to discuss about bank-to-bank reimbursement arrangements. Bank-to-bank reimbursement arrangements. Right? I purposely came to the IBS center because I want to discuss, when I want to discuss this particular area, then I had to use the whiteboard. මම ඒකමයි මෙතෙන්ට ආවේ නැත්නම් මට ඉදිරිය දැන් කරන්නත් තිබුණා. කරා නම් උගන්ට හරි අයිඩියා එකක් ගන්න අමාරුයි. Right. Bank-to-bank reimbursement arrangements is one of the very important areas under letter of credit options under UCP 600. Right. In UCP 600, I think you all have to take the UCP 600 into your hands, and you have to turn to Article 13. Article 13. Article 13 talks about bank-to-bank reimbursement, right? This particular article covers some very basic arrangements for bank-to-bank reimbursement. Some very basic arrangements for bank-to-bank reimbursement, but we can do the reimbursement through UCP 600, Article 13. But when you talk about the bank-to-bank reimbursement, URR 725, Uniform Rules for Reimbursement, Uniform Rules for Reimbursement, URR 725, provide more additional clarification and more detailed rules. Right? So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the bank-to-bank reimbursement with UCP 600, and then we'll discuss the URR 725, the more complex one. Right? Before discussing these articles, I would like to explain to you what is a reimbursement. Now, when we issue a letter of credit, just think of it, and then we advise the letter of credit to the advising bank. Then the advising bank will advise the letter of credit to the beneficiary or the exporter. Then exporter will export the goods to the importer and then submit the related documents to the advising bank. Now we call that bank negotiating bank, which have powers to negotiate the documents and give the value immediately. If the documents are complied with the terms and conditions of the LC, they will reimburse the money, they will settle the money immediately to the exporter. Right? That is how it is happening. Sometimes, most of the banks, but they are not compelled to do it. It is the way it should happen. But most of the banks, including most of the Sri Lankan banks, ashamed to mention that, right? Most of the Sri Lankan banks, they don't negotiate the documents of exporters. What they will do is they will check the documents and send it to the issuing bank. Issuing bank is the bank that should settle the bill, right? So they are the ultimate bank, so they have to settle the bill. But that is not the proper procedure. Proper procedure is the negotiating bank or the nominated bank has to give value to the exporter, right? In Sri Lanka also, I don't know now what is happening. In nowadays, yes, we did. We gave value. Now, maybe about the risk and whether, I don't know whether they are not willing to take the risk, right? Even if they are willing to take the risk, they will ask the customer to give them an indemnity, indemnify the bank with all losses and all, right? And then I make a knowledge come up, make a grand buy the buy window millions of rupees. But we used to do it, right? But anyway, the issuing bank, they can't say no. If the documents are complied with the terms and conditions of the LC, they have to pay. And they have to, that means they have to reimburse the money to the exporter. Right? So bank-to-bank reimbursement is as such. But when it comes to bank-to-bank reimbursement, there is a middle bank. There's a bank in the middle. We call it reimbursing bank. Now, reimbursing bank reimburse the money to the exporter or the negotiating bank on the instruction of the issuing bank. Now we'll see how this cycle happens, right? Okay. Now we have the issuing bank. Issuing bank. You can pay on it?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Then we have the negotiating bank. Mathekama and the negotiating bank. Right? Then we have reimbursing bank. Reimbursing bank. Right? So we have three banks. One is the issuing bank, other one is the negotiating bank, third one is the reimbursing bank. Right? Now, when we issue a letter of credit, we issue a letter of credit under MT 700, right? And then we advise the LC to the negotiating bank or advising bank, which will become the negotiating bank eventually. And then simultaneously, we will send reimbursement authorization under a tested telex, that is MT 740, to the reimbursing bank. Right? We call it reimbursement authorization. Reimbursement authorization. Okay. Then the reimbursing bank, if we say issuing bank is in Sri Lanka. Okay. Negotiating bank or the exporter is in UK. Exporter is in UK. The reimbursing bank is a dollar LC in New York. Reimbursing bank is in New York. Right? Now, when we send the reimbursement authorization to the reimbursing bank, they will register it and they'll keep it. Okay? Then, the negotiating bank is there. The exporter will do the shipment. Exporter will do the shipment and give the documents to the negotiating bank to negotiate the LC. Negotiate the bid. Negotiation means giving value. In simple, they are requesting for the value. Right? So, once they receive the bills, the negotiating bank will check the documents against the LC, whether it is complied with the terms and conditions of the LC. If the documents are complied with the terms and conditions of the LC, then they will remit or they will pay the exporter and claim the money from the reimbursing bank. They will claim the money from the reimbursing bank. Right? All are, we have separate empty messages for reimbursement claims, reimbursement authorizations, reimbursement amendments, and all those things. I'm not going to talk about those things because I just want to tell you about the basic cycle. You are not going to be the trade finance guys who are actually doing this one, but you are most of you are managers, so you want to know what is happening, right? So don't worry about the empties. But all these things have to be authenticated telexes. So negotiating bank, they will pay the customer and claim claim from the reimbursing bank. Claim from the reimbursing bank. Right? Then what is happening? Then reimbursing bank, they will not check and they are not bothered whether these documents are complied with the terms and conditions of the LC. They will not check. And here also, they are not getting a copy of the LC. They are not getting a copy of the LC. They are getting only the reimbursement authorization, mentioning under this particular LC, if you get a claim, pay. That's it. If you get a claim, pay. Simple as that. Right? And when they are claiming, they will say, okay, we are claiming on the complied documents or something. They can mention. These people are not bothered whether it's complied or not. Right? Then what they will do is they will reimbursing bank. Normally, reimbursing bank is the corresponding bank of the issuing bank. Corresponding bank of the issuing bank. Right? Reimbursing bank is the corresponding bank of the issuing bank. So they will debit issuing bank. They will debit issuing bank and credit negotiating bank. They will debit issuing bank and credit negotiating bank. Now, these people are the corresponding bank of issuing bank. In other words, the nostro. Issuing bank maintains their nostro account with the reimbursing bank. Otherwise, they can't debit the issuing bank. So they have to maintain. They are maintaining their nostro account with reimbursing bank. So they will debit issuing bank and credit negotiating bank, and then pay the negotiating bank. That's it. Right? In other words, these people also will reimburse the money to reimbursing bank. Anyway, they will debit the account. This is the cycle of reimbursement, bank to bank reimbursement. Any questions on this? Simple, any questions on this? Any questions on this? No. Right. Then we will go through the Article 13 of UCP 600. Article 13 of the UCP 600. Can you please take out your UCP 600? I have asked you to keep hard copies with you. I hope you all are having. Hard copies?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, very good. No kiyana no katitin no sama, right? Okay, then we'll read the Article 13 and we'll discuss. Article 13A. If a credit states that reimbursement is to be obtained by a nominated bank, we call it claiming bank, right? Negotiating bank here, nominating bank. Nominating bank or claiming bank, because they are the people who are claiming, right? If a credit states that reimbursement is to be obtained by a nominated bank, within brackets claiming bank, claiming on another party, that party is the reimbursing bank. The credit must state if the reimbursement is subject to ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement in effect on the date of issuance of the credit. Right? The credit must state if the reimbursement is subject to ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement in effect on the date of issuance of the credit. Right? Here, there's a very important thing that they have mentioned. In the LC itself, they have to say reimbursement is subject to the ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement. ඒක LC එකේ mention ලා තියෙනවා. හරිද? Reimbursement is subject to ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement. ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement is what we are talking here is URR 725 is the ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement. Right? ඒක පේන්නේ නැද්ද? මම ලියපු එක පේන්නේ නැද්ද? පේනවද? URR 725 කියන එක?
Can see.
Can see. Okay. This is the ICC rules for reimbursement. Okay. So if you have, they have to mention that. If they have mentioned subject to ICC rules for reimbursement, like you wanna, then this URR 725 will apply. If they are silent on, if the LC is silent about the reimbursement, if the LC is silent about the reimbursement, and they just say reimburse, right? Then UCP 600 Article 13 will apply. That's right. Right? Then the B, 13B, if a credit does not state that reimbursement is subject to the ICC rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement, the following apply. The following apply. B1, an issuing bank must provide a reimbursing bank with a reimbursement authorization that conforms with the availability stated in the credit. උගන්ට තේරෙනවද දැන් ඒක? අපි මේක bank-to-bank reimbursement කියලා නැත්නම් ICC bank-to-bank reimbursement කියලා නැත්නම් then it applies UCP 600 Article 13. Right? The issuing bank must provide a reimbursing bank with a reimbursement authorization that conforms with the availability stated in the credit. The reimbursement authorization should not be subject to an expiry date. Very important. Right? The reimbursement authorization, we'll have to say the amount. We'll have to say the amount. The amount කියලා තමයි අපි ඒක දෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? Amount එක කියන්න ඕන. එහෙම කිව්වේ නැත්නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපි දන්නේ reimbursing bank එක open ended, how much they will, whatever the claim they are getting, they will debit the account. So we have to specifically mention how much. If the LC is for US dollars 10,000, then the authorization is for, under that LC number, 10,000. Right? And that's a very important thing. The reimbursement authorization should not be subject to an expiry date. Make hari unique ekak. Right? Reimbursement authorization should not be subject to an expiry date. Ape reimbursement authorization denakota api expiry date එකක් දෙන්න. Right? එතකොට even if the LC expired, even after the expiry date, if the claiming bank or the nominated bank has claimed reimbursement from the reimbursing bank, they will pay. They will pay. Now you will ask question, that's still everything. Then when the LC is expired, that's a major discrepancy, right? No bank will settle, even the issuing bank will reject the payment. That is the ultimate payment bank is issuing bank. Even they will reject the payment if the LC is expired. Yet, if the claiming bank claimed from the reimbursing bank, they will pay. Expiry date is immaterial for them. ඒක රිස්කි නේද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හිතනවා නේද රිස්කි කියලා. දැන් ඒතර එහෙම දෙයක් වුණොත් who is responsible for the damage? Ultimately, which party has been penalized? Ultimately, which party has been penalized?
Issuing bank.
Issuing bank, very good. Issuing bank, they have been penalized, right? එතකොට මේගොල්ලන්ට උනාට ඒගොල්ලන් the arguments or the fight should be between the issuing bank and the nominated bank. Reimbursement bank will wash their hands. They will pay the money. They'll wash their hands. By the time the issuing bank receives the documents, when they check the documents, they will find, oh my God, this is expired. LC is expired, so you can't pay. They reject the document. No point. By the time those people have received the money, right? Reimbursement bank has nothing to do. So they have to fight the case with the nominated bank, right? Your recovery is gone on. Because of that, giving reimbursement authorization is very, very risky. Very, very risky. Most of the banks, they don't give reimbursement authorization, right? හැබැයි සමහර customers ලා ලංකාවේ වගේ නෙමෙයි පිටරට when I was working they are insisting put the reimbursement authorization. We need the money immediately. That's a must, right? But the risk is very high. The risk is very high. Okay. B2. A claiming bank shall not be required to supply a reimbursement bank with a certificate of compliance with the terms and conditions of the credit. When they are putting the claims, the claiming bank shall not be required to supply a certificate of compliance to the reimbursing bank, because they are not bothered whether it's complied or not. They will pay. If they get a claim, they will pay, right? මේගොල්ලෝ මේ LC එකත් එක්ක check කරන්න යන්නේ reimbursing bank, right? කිලිමේ ගාන ඉල්ලුවද දුන්නා. වැඩි හරියක් ඒවා මේවා ඉල්ල automated. මේ ඔක්කොම transactions automated. System එකට දාලා තියෙන system එකට ගිය ගමන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ merchant ආව නම් කිලිම ගෙවුවා. merchant ආවේ නැත්නම් අඩුවෙන් ආවත් ගෙවුවා. වැඩියෙන් ආවොත් ගෙවන්න බෑ. අන්න එතකොට manually මේ line එකකට යනවා. අරකින් reject කරනවා. reject කරලා manual line එකට යනවා. අන්න එතන තමයි ඉන්නේ staff එක. එතන දාලා තියෙනවා staff එක. ඒවා investigate කරලා one by one pay කරන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් automated line එක ඔහේ යනවා. මේ ඔක්කොම දෙන authorizations අරගොල්ලෝ load කරලා තියලා තියෙනවා. මේ claim එක ආවා. මේ දෙක ගානට set වුණා. set වෙච්ච ගමන් pay කළා. set වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් වැඩියෙන් claim කරලා තියෙනවා නම් අන්න ඒක දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක එළියට යනවා. winning line එක යනවා. එතකොට ඒ line එක check කරලා බලනවා මොකද මේකේ ඉන්නේ කියලා. Right? An issuing bank will be responsible for any loss of interest together with any expenses incurred. If reimbursement is not provided on first demand by a reimbursing bank in accordance with the terms and conditions of the credit. Number one, the issuing bank will be responsible for any losses. මේ claim එක එනවා එනකොට reimbursement authorization එක ගිහිල්ලා නැහැ. These people have not received it properly. Right? එහෙම වුණාම reimbursement authorization නැත්නම් මෙතන මේ LC එක මෙතන load වෙලා නැහැ amount එක. ඔටෝනේ යන්නේ. නැත්නම් ඒකට මේක reject වෙනවා. බලනකොට no reimbursement authorization. Now these people have claimed on January 1st, January 2nd වල අපි හිතමු time zone differences second වල ගියා. යා මේක check කරන්නේ නැහැ. Right? එතන මේගොල්ලන්ගේ delay එකක් වෙනවා. දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ by that time they have paid the customer. They have paid their customer. Right? Why they have not paid? Because they have not received the reimbursement authorization from the issuing bank. එතකොට මේගොල්ලෝ claim කරනවා interest delay එක. Delay interest claim කරනවා. Delay interest claim කරාම ඒක ගෙවන්න ඕනේ මේ issuing bank එක. reimbursing bank එක නෙමෙයි. වෙන charges මොනවාද තියෙනවා නම් ඒවත් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ reimbursing bank එක නෙමෙයි issuing bank එක. 4. The reimbursing bank's charges are for the account of issuing bank. Reimbursing bank charges regular charge regular debit කරගන්නේ issuing bank එකට. However, if the charges are for the account of the beneficiary, it is a responsibility of an issuing bank to so indicate in the credit and in the reimbursement authorization. Right? එතකොට බැරි වෙලාවත් the reimbursement, if the reimbursement charges are for the account of the beneficiary, they have to the issuing bank has to inform that particular one to the reimbursing bank. එතකොට reimbursing bank එක auto set කරලා තියෙනවා 10,000 claim එක එනවා $100 reimbursing bank charges, so will pay 9,900 instead of 10,000. They will pay 9,900 deducting the charges from the proceeds, right? If a reimbursing bank charges are for the account of the beneficiary, they shall be deducted from the amount due to a claiming bank when reimbursement is made. That's what I have mentioned. If no reimbursement is made, the reimbursing bank charges remain the obligation of the issuing bank. If no reimbursement is made, the reimbursing bank charges remain the obligation of the issuing bank. Issuing bank at the C. An issuing bank is not relieved of any of its obligations to provide reimbursement if reimbursement is not made by a reimbursing bank on the first demand. Very important. If the reimbursing bank has not done the payment claim, if they have not honored the claim, right? The issuing bank cannot wash their hands, saying that I have already given reimbursement authorization to such and such a bank, Standard Chartered Bank, New York. So you claim from them. This is their ultimate responsibility. Right? Then the අපේ හරියට පරිස්සම් වෙලා යන්න වෙනවා. මේ මොන හරි දෙයක් වුණොත් මේගොල්ලන්ට වගකීමෙන් මිදෙන්න බෑ. They are responsible. An issuing bank is not relieved of any. Very well, but reimbursing bank given at them, again, these people have to pay the money to the nominating bank or the negotiating bank. Right? Any questions on this front? Article 13. Any questions on Article 13? තියනවද නැද්ද? එහෙම නැත්නම් මම යන්නම් URL 725 එකට. Okay? Right. ඊගොල්ලෝ බලමු අපි what is the ICC regulations on bank to bank reimbursement. හැබැයි එකක් තියෙනවා. මතක තියාගන්න කොහෙද තැනක උඩ නෝට් කරගන්න. ඒවා notes වල නෑ. You can't simultaneously use UCP 600, Article 13 and URR 725. දෙකෙන් එකයි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දෙකම use කරන්න බෑ. Fine. දැන් බලමු අපි URR 725.
So if we open confirmation mail address, if we open a confirmation mail address, what happened in that scenario? If the nominating bank added their confirmation, we should do amendment for the added confirmation.
Sorry, I didn't get your question properly. And
I mean, if we open confirmation may add LC instead of confirmed LC.
පුතේ වාගේ මයික් එකේ සද්දේකෝ වැඩි පොඩ්ඩක් ඈතට මයික් එකෙන් පොඩ්ඩක් ඈත් කරලා කතා කරන්න බෑ මට හරියට.
So if we open confirmation may add LC,
if they are sorry, if we open confirmation may add LC. Confirmation may add, okay.
Instead of confirmed LC, after that, nominating bank added their confirmation after that.
Okay.
Then we have to do amendment.
You have to do an amendment, okay.
Yeah, amendment that confirming now it's applicable UR 725.
Right. But I will repeat your question. Tell me.
Okay.
Is that the way? Is that the one you have asked me? Now, issuing bank has issued the LC with a notation saying that confirmation may add.
Yes.
And then the negotiating bank or the nominated bank has added confirmation to that.
Yeah.
And then subsequently what you say is
then what happened to that? Is it applicable for URR 725?
no. Confirmation has nothing to do with URR 725.
Okay.
It has nothing to do whether you add confirmation or not added confirmation, or whether it's complied or not complied. They have nothing to do. Right? They have nothing to do. This is completely different scenario.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Can you see this presentation, URR 725?
Yes, sir.
You can see this, no? URR 725 presentation.
Yes, yes.
And you can see me also in a small cage. Shape එක හරි. හරි. පේන්නේ නැත්නම් ඇහෙන්නේ නැත්නම් මට ටෙලිෆෝන් කරලා හරි කියන්න. right? එහෙම නැත්නම් මම සෙන්සරේ අහන්නේ ඒකයි no issues කියලා. Now we'll discuss about URR 725 Uniform Rules for Bank-to-Bank Reimbursement. Right? What does before that, I have given, in this presentation, I have discussed the entire URR 725. Right? You keep it with you because one day, if you happen to be working in a trade finance department, then at least you have some guidelines in your hands. Right? මම මේකේ ගොඩාක්ම ඇතුළට detail මම උගලත් එක්ක යන්නේ නැහැ. සමහර certain articles I will skip it and I will do only the important ones. හැම එකම important තමයි. මම ඉක්මනට skip කරලා මම කරන්නේ. Right? Okay. What does URR 725 mean? Right? මෙන්න මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් උගන් දෙන්න පුළුවන් question එකක්. What does URR 725 mean? URR 725 are the uniform rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement under documentary credit ICC publication number 725. Right? Then URR 725 was approved by the ICC National Committee at the ICC Banking Commission in April 2008. URR 725 has been effective since 1st October 2008. That's the history. Since 2008, then no changes. URR 725 is an updated version of previous rules for bank-to-bank known as URR 525. Before that, we were using URR 525. Then it was revised in 2008, right? And it was approved by the ICC National Committee in April 2008, and they put into the effect since 1st October 2008. The revision was necessary to bring these long-standing rules into conformity with the UCP 600, ICC's universally used rules for letter of credit. Make it 725 පොඩ්ඩක් change කළේ. They want to that there was a necessity to be par with UCP 600, right? In conformity with UCP 600. In other words, to be in par with UCP 600. Because since UCP 600 is the universally used rules for letter of credit, right? What is the scope of URR 725? The uniform rules for bank-to-bank reimbursement under documentary credits, ICC publication number 725, shall apply to any bank-to-bank reimbursement under documentary credits when the reimbursement authorization expressly indicates that it is subject to these rules. Very important. When the reimbursement authorization expressly indicates that it is subject to these rules. Up LC reimbursement clause reimbursement under reimbursement subject to URR 725. Subject to URR 725, bank-to-bank reimbursement. Then the URR 725 will apply. If they are silent on the reimbursement, then Article 13 of UCP 600 will apply. The rules are binding on all parties thereto, unless expressly modified by the reimbursement authorization. right? URR 75, the Uniform Rules of Bank-to-Bank Reimbursement. The issuing bank is responsible for indicating in the documented rate that the reimbursement is subject to URR 75. Right? As a result, both MT 700 can issuance of a documented rate, and MT 740 authorization to reimburse. From issuing bank to the reimbursing bank, given the authorization. Right? Swift messages must indicate the applicable rules. Reimbursement under UCP 600 under Swift message URR latest version or not URR are the options regarding reimbursement. Under MT 700 Swift messages, under reimbursement point reimbursement apia hama api kiyana URR latest version kiyala. URR latest version kiyala. එතකොට URR latest version කියන්නේ URR 75. එහෙම නැත්නම් කියන reimbursement under reimbursement අපි කියන not URR. Not URR කියන්නේ ඒ දෙකෙන් එකක් කියන්න ඕන. දෙකම දාන්න බෑ. Right? URR latest version means that URR rules will apply to the bank-to-bank reimbursement. That means URR 725 will apply to bank-to-bank reimbursement. Not URR means that not URR rules, but UCP 600 Article 13 will apply to the bank-to-bank reimbursement. Not URR, that means that not URR rules, but UCP 600 Article 13 will apply to the bank-to-bank reimbursement. Make a confused, please. You can confuse that.
Sir?
Oh.
So if it is not mentioned both, what will be the effective of
rules? In a scenario like that, we have to say issuing bank will reimburse. Issuing bank will reimburse. Otherwise, we'll have to mention the reimbursing bank. Reimbursing bank is Standard Chartered Bank New York, HSBC New York. Not URR, not URR. It is subject to Article 13 of UCP 600. Even at the reimbursing bank at the network, reimbursement by issuing bank. So they have to send the documents to the issuing bank, they will check and they will remit the money to the negotiating bank. Okay? තව ඉෂුව එකක් තියෙනවා තාම තේරුන්නේ නැද්ද? කියනපතේ ප්‍රශ්න
No sir, clear now.
Clear ne? Okay. URR 75 consists of total 17 articles. When you are free after these sessions, please go through it, right? UCP වගේම දාලා තියෙනවා. මම මේක explain කරන්න යන්නේ මම මේක ඔයගලන්ට explain කරලා කිව්වා දැන් කොහොමද වෙන්නේ කියන එක, right? මේක ඔයගලන්ට තව තියෙනවානේ දැන් ඒතකොට මේක ලබන්න issue of LC ඊට පස්සේ issue of LC වලට නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ number 2 reimbursement authorization දෙනවා reimbursing bank එකට මම අර මෙතන ඇන්දේකේ ලස්සනට ටිකක් වැඩ දාලා ඇඳලා තියෙනවා මේකේ. Right? Article 1, application of URR 725. URR 725 shall apply to any bank-to-bank reimbursement when the text of the reimbursement authorization expressly indicates that it is subject to these rules. The issuing bank is responsible for indicating in the documented credit that reimbursement is subject to these rules. The reimbursing bank acts on the instructions and under the authorization of the issuing bank. Right? Under the authority of the issuing bank. Right? Article 2, definitions. Here we have to talk about issuing bank, reimbursement authorization, reimbursement amendment, claiming bank, reimbursement claim, reimbursement undertaking, reimbursement undertaking amendment. For the purpose of these rules, the branches of a bank in different countries are considered to be separate. For the purpose of these rules, branches of a bank in different countries are considered to be separate. And important මොකද අපි ගත්තොත් එම international banks Bank of Stone People's Bank and other branches නැහැ. අපි තුම් issuing bank එක ඇවිල්ලා Standard Chartered Colombo කියලා. Negotiating bank Standard Chartered London. These are same banks. These are same banks. ඒ දෙකේම reimbursing bank එක Standard Chartered New York. Right? හැබැයි එහෙම උනායි කියලා for the purpose of these rules, branches of a bank in different countries. Branches of a bank in different countries make a Standard Chartered Sri Lanka branch, Standard Chartered UK branch. They are considered as two different banks. Two different banks if they are situated in two different countries. Right? Branches is very important. The international trade game or concept use. That's the main reason. I will relate it to some other thing which I have discussed with you earlier with some examples. I told you when I was working for Standard Chartered Colombo, I used to open LCs for David Perry's Motor Company to their parent company, Ford Motors in Japan. Ford Motors in Japan, they Ford and Mazda, they maintain their accounts with Standard Chartered Tokyo. Still, they wanted my LCs to be confirmed. My LCs to be confirmed. මොකටද confirm වෙන්නේ? මේකම bank එකේ branches. Right? ඒතර damage පාඩුවක් වුණොත් එම මේ pocket එකේ මේ pocket එකට ගියා වගේ. There's nothing else. Right? Still, we treat it as two different banks because they are in two different countries. Right? මේ concept එක හැම එකටම apply වෙනවා. මේ definitions මම දීලා තියෙනවා. You can go through it. It says issuing bank means that the bank that has issued the credit and the reimbursement authorization under that credit. Reimbursing bank means that the bank instructed or authorized to provide reimbursement pursuant to a reimbursement authorization issued by the issuing bank. Reimbursement authorization means an instructions or authorization independent of the credit issued by an issuing bank. Independent of the credit. They have nothing to do with the credit. If they are received, if these guys have received authorization with their receipt numbers and all, they will pay. Whether it is complied or not, it's immaterial. Right? Bank to reimburse a claiming bank or if so requested by the issuing bank to accept and pay a time draft drawn on the reimbursing bank. Reimbursement undertaking. What do you mean by reimbursement undertaking? Sometimes under this reimbursement authorization, the issuing bank will request the reimbursing bank to give a reimbursement undertaking to the nominated bank. Reimbursement undertaking. When they receive authorization, then the reimbursing bank will issue a reimbursement undertaking message swift to the nominating bank. You look here now, right? Under this LC, we have undertaken to pay you if there's a claim. If there's a claim, we will reimburse you. Right? To the claiming bank named in the reimbursement authorization to honor that bank's reimbursement claim, provided the terms and conditions of the reimbursement undertaking has been complied with. Right? Claiming bank means a bank that honors or negotiates a credit and presents the reimbursement claim to the handout definitions. Right? So if I ask a question from you for the exam, what do you mean by reimbursement undertaking? You should be able to answer that. And what do you mean by claiming bank? Under URR 725. What do you mean by claiming bank under URR 725? Right? Claiming bank means a bank that honors or negotiates a credit and presents the reimbursement claim to the reimbursing bank. Right? Okay. Reimbursement amendment. Reimbursement amendment can do. Now, for example, if you say the LC value, if you say LC value, original value, US dollars 50,000. US dollars 50,000. Okay. LC amendment act, amended value US dollars 60,000. That means the value has been increased to 6,000, increased by $10,000 more. Okay. We'll have to send a reimbursement amendment to the reimbursing bank, because originally they have registered US dollars 50. Originally they have registered US dollars 50. Subsequently, they will receive a claim from the nominating bank for 60. For 60. Then they will not pay 60 because they have the authorization only up to 50. They will not pay 60. Ultimately, delays, delay claims, right? Every time when they do the amendments, they will see to the values, right? They have to inform the reimbursing bank. They have to inform the reimbursing bank. Then they will update their authorization. The value same thing happens. Right? Value Kadukala Tila, Onarea, Verdila, Argolo, wedding claim for Larry Monor, that no thing, even okay? Because the making my Tawaka, what is shake up, Shishima Adukalaman, Savan in doing that. Samai, making a practical part take over the Ulu again. when we issue the LC to the advising bank, they will receive it, and that we assume that the advising bank or the negotiating bank, right? Then subsequently, the value was reduced. එතකොට මේගොල්ලෝ කලින් value එකට මේ කරන්න පුළුවන්. Amendments accept කරලා ගත්තේ ඉුවේ නැත්නම් there's no rule for them to negotiate on the amended value. And they can the values දාන්න අපි හරි පරිස්සමෙන් කරන්න ඕනේ. හැබැයි මේ amendment එක කරනවා $60 එක හරි. දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ amend කරනවා original LC for $50,000. There's an amendment saying that amending the number of units, amending the number of units, and the what do you call instead of Sony TVs, now they are asking them to send Samsung TVs. Instead of Sony TVs, Samsung TVs. But the amount is same. Right? ඒ වගේ ඒකෙදී amendment එකක් වුණාට එතෙන්දී we need to inform the reimbursing bank about that particular amendment? No need. If it is not making any effect to this, if it is not affecting the value, there's no way we should inform the reimbursing bank. Because they don't care, they will throw it away. Right? Reimbursement claim means a request for reimbursement from the claiming bank to reimbursing bank. Article 3, reimbursement authorization versus credit. A reimbursement authorization is separate from the credit to which it refers, and reimbursing bank is not concerned with or bound by the terms and conditions of the credit. Amechalla kipo summarize kara moga thamai une. Reimbursing bank is not concerned with or bound by the terms and conditions of the credit. Article 4, honor of a reimbursement claim. Except as provided by the terms of its reimbursement undertaking, a reimbursing bank is not obligated to honor a reimbursement claim. Except as provided by the terms of its reimbursement undertaking, a reimbursing bank is not obligated to honor a reimbursement claim. If they have not given a reimbursement undertaking, then the reimbursing bank is not obligated to honor a reimbursement claim. Right? Then there's a delay of reimbursing the money to the negotiating bank. Who is responsible? Who is responsible? Who is responsible? The reimbursing bank has not honored the claim. They have not, earlier they have not sent an undertaking. Reimbursement undertaking, and they have not honored the claim. Because of that, there was a delay of reimbursing the money. Who is responsible?
Issuing bank.
Issuing bank. Reimbursing bank is issuing bank. Responsibility of the issuing bank for providing the information required in these rules in both the reimbursement authorization and the credit for any consequences resulting from non-compliance with this provision. Right? Issuance and receipt of a reimbursement authorization or reimbursement amendment. All reimbursement authorizations and reimbursement amendments must be issued in the form of an authenticated teletransmission or a signed letter. Authenticated teletransmission. MT700, MT742, MT748. If it is an amendment, right? Right? Right. An issuing bank must not send to a reimbursing bank a copy of the credit or any part thereof or a copy of an amendment to the credit. The reimbursement authorization එක වෙනුවට ඒ halation reimbursement authorization MT700 740 එක යවන්න නැතුව මේගොල්ලෝ මේක යවලා මෙයාට එවනවා කොපි එකක්. පදයා ඔක්කොම දාපු මේක කොපි එකක් එවනවා. එවුවාම කියලා කියනවා මේක treat this as a reimbursement authorization. No. Then the reimbursing bank will not treat it as a reimbursement authorization. They don't want to see the copy of the LC. Only what they want is MT700 740 and specific instructions. Right? Multiple reimbursement authorizations under one teletransmission or letter, unless expressly agreed to by the reimbursing bank. ඒකත් යවන්න එපා. මෙන්න මේක ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් එකක්. හරිද? දැන් අපි හිතමු issuing bank එකෙන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ඉඳන් issuing bank එක to SCB Dubai වලට SCB Dubai වලට LCs අරිනවා හතරක් යනවා මේ LCs separate LCs, right? One is on XYZ company for US dollars 50,000. But then on ABC and company, US dollars 40,000. Right? PQR company, or US dollars 10,000. Right? DEF company, US dollars 100,000. Mere companies හතරක LCs හතරක් දීලා තමයි එකම දවසේ SCB Dubai වලට යන්නේ. එතකොට මේ කොහොම reimbursement under URR 725. ඊළඟ reimbursement authorization එකක් යනවා. reimbursement authorization එක යනවා. Okay. Reimbursement authorization එක MT740 එක mentioning all these names and the amounts multiple and total US dollars 200,000 US dollars 200,000 reimbursement authorization act. Putting these LC numbers. Everyone, each one you have to send separate investment authorizations. An issuing bank shall not require a certificate of compliance with the terms and conditions of the credit in the reimbursement authorization. The reimbursement authorization again, the reimbursing bank should check whether the documents are complied with the terms and conditions of the LC. They will not check. A reimbursement authorization must state the following. Minimally important. Credit number, currency and amount, additional amounts payable or and tolerance. If they say 50,000 plus or minus, load 50,000 plus or minus. So if it is, if you receive the claim for 55,000 plus or minus 10%, that 55,000 claim make out, 45,000 claim make right? Is responsible for charges for this claiming bank and the reimbursing bank charges in accordance with the Article 16 of these rules, who is responsible for the charges, right? A reimbursement amendment must state only the relative changes to the above and the credit number, right? Time drafted pay करने के बाद हमारे मन skip कर रहा हूँ important नहीं है वहाँ make it important. G. If the reimbursing bank is not prepared to act for any reasons whatsoever under the reimbursement authorization or reimbursement amendment, it must so inform the issuing bank without delay. The moment they receive the reimbursement authorization, if the reimbursing bank is not prepared to act on this authorization, they have to immediately go back to the issuing bank. Right? Article H also, you can read it and see. Is not responsible for delaying claims and all, right? They are not responsible. Only the issuing bank is responsible. Expiry of a reimbursement authorization. Article 13 expiry date. Article 13 ने कतारा क्यों expiry क्या कतारा? अभी गणन को expiry date. Number URR 725. The reimbursement authorization should not be subject to an expiry date or latest date for presentation of a claim. As indicated in Article 9. Normally, we don't accept that, right? A reimbursing bank will assume no responsibility for the expiry date of a credit. And if such date is provided in the reimbursement authorization, it will be disregarded. It will be disregarded. Issuing bank may expiry date sapi disregard karna reimbursing bank, right? The issuing bank must cancel its reimbursement authorization for any unutilized portion of the credit. The issuing bank must cancel its reimbursement authorization for any unutilized portion of the credit to which it refers, informing the reimbursing bank without delay. The issuing bank must cancel its reimbursement authorization for any unutilized portions of the credit. Very important. LC ka karino, LC value is US dollars 100,000. Right? Bills negotiated US dollars 90,000. Then LC ka 100,000 dadiyama api reimbursement authorization එක කීයද දරින්නේ? That is also for US dollars 100,000. But they have negotiated only bills up to 90,000. Now the LC is expired, no more functioning. Done. But there's a balance remaining. That is how much? $10. Balance outstanding US dollars 10,000. Maybe US dollars 10,000. Ape bank ke ape records we cancel this now. Natare facility ka block penone. Make unutilized amounts will cancel. But if you are cancelling the unutilized amounts, portions, then we have to inform the reimbursing bank also. Let inform the reimbursing bank also without delay. Right? Then they will also do the same thing. Otherwise, subsequently, if there's any claim coming, even after the expiry date, negotiating banking, if claim $10,000, these people will pay. The amendment authorization of reimbursement authorization. Reimbursement undertaking. Reimbursement undertaking must comply with the provisions of this article. Who will issue the reimbursement undertaking? Which bank? Reimbursement undertaking will be issued by which bank? Right?
Reimbursing bank.
Who is issuing the reimbursement undertaking? But uttare avane. Ek මොකක්ද කිව්ව මට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ. කවුද reimbursement undertaking issue ගන්න මොන bank එකද? We talk about few banks. කවුද issue ගන්න reimbursement undertaking? Note එක බලවත් කියන්න බෑද? article එක බලලා. Really still the reimbursement undertaking. Who may kata kan lamai?
Issuing bank.
Issuing bank. An authorization or request by the issuing bank to the reimbursing bank to issue a reimbursement undertaking. Right? Reimbursement undertaking issue කරනකොට ඒකේ තියෙන්න ඕන credit number, currency and amount, blah 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 ඔය ටික තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මම මේවා අහන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඒකෙන්ද මම අර import එක තමයි මේ කරන්නේ. What should be contained කියන එක අහන්නේ. ඒක VAT එකේදී අපි discuss කරනවා අහනවා. That is only for trade. Right? If the reimbursement bank is requested to accept and pay a time draft tag ganda pape. Api bewarane medical Article 10 Standards for reimbursement claim. The claiming bank claiming for reimbursement. Right? The nominating bank or the negotiating bank, or we say claiming bank. Right? When they claim for reimbursement, it must be in the form of a teletransmission. A claim again or not, teletransmission again. The authorization again or authenticated teletransmission again. SWIFT must clearly indicate the credit number and the issuing bank and the reimbursing bank reference number if known. Undertaking bank එවලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒකේ reimbursing bank එකේ reference එකක් තියෙනවනේ ඒකත් කියන්න ඕන LC number එක දෙන්න ඕන issuing bank එක හරියට දෙන්න ඕන ඔය කොහොම මේකට මේක load කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ reimbursement authorization එක අපිලා ඒතර මෙහෙන් claim එක අහම මම දැකලා තියෙනවා මේ කොහොමද වෙන්නේ කියන එක අපේ නිව්යෝර්ක් ඔෆිස් එකේදී they will not touch anything මේක ඔටෝ ආවා ඔටෝ සර්ච් කරගෙන යනවා ගාන්ටේ මේ එක ඒරියාස් ටික ගාන්ට බැලන්ස් වුණා නම් done එහෙම උනේ නැත්තම් තමයි ඒක යන්නේ අනිත් ලේන් එකට manual lane එකට manual lane එකට ගියාම there will be an additional charge also. There will be additional charge also. The මේගොල්ලන්ට ඕනේ පුළුවන් තරම් automate කරලා must separately stipulate the principal amount and principal amount paid. Additional amount due and charges. Must not be a copy of the not be a copy of the claiming bank advice of payment. Must not be a copy of the claiming bank's advice of payment. Deferred payment acceptance or negotiation bank. Then make a mail. Payment inform issuing bank advice of payment. Just to be a separate reimbursement claim under separate empty number, right? Must not include multiple reimbursement claims under one teletransmission or letter. Make a claim එකක් අස්සේ 10 දෙනෙක්ගේ claims දාලා එක total එක දාන්න බෑ. එහෙමනම් මේ ඔක්කොම reject කරනවා. There should be individual claims. Must, in the case of reimbursement undertaking, comply with must, in the case of a reimbursement undertaking, comply with the terms and conditions of the reimbursement undertaking. Processing reimbursement claim, reimbursement bank shall have a maximum of 3 banking days. I mean, make it important. Make exam it important. Make it exam. පස්සේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ කොහෙත්ම ලියා ගන්න hard copy එකක් එම ගත්තොත් ඒක highlight කරලා තියාගන්න. Maximum of 3 banking days following the day of receipt of the claim, reimbursement claim to process the claim. Within 3 banking days, they have to honor the claim. Right? අපි documents negotiate කරද්දී අපි කොච්චර ගන්නවද? How many maximum banking days? And we are negotiating the documents. How many banking days? How many banking days? Article 14 එකේ තියෙනවා. UCP 600 Article 14. 5 banking days. Reimbursement claim ere kanne 3 banking days. Make a multiple choice questions වලට අපි දෙන එකක්. Right? The reimbursing bank shall have a maximum of 3 banking days, 5 banking days, 7 days. වගේ අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. දීලා වගේ ගන්නවා. claiming කිය දෙන්න ඕනේ කෙනෙක්. දැන් උගන්ට මතක තියෙන 5 banking days නම් ගොඩක් ළමයි ඩෝන් ගාලා ගන්නවා 5 banking days. If a pre-debit notification is required by the issuing bank, this pre-debit notification period shall be in addition to the processing period mentioned above. Right? Etika onna araga 3 banking days important. A reimbursing bank will not process a request for back value. Back valuation dinne. Kirima on demand megala. When a reimbursing bank has not issued a reimbursement undertaking and a reimbursement is due on a future date, the reimbursement claim must specify the predetermined reimbursement date. Right? The reimbursement claim should not be presented to the reimbursing bank more than 10 banking days prior to such predetermined date. Then බැරිලාවත් predetermined date එකක් තියෙනවා නම් future date එකක තමයි මේ claim එක යන්න ඕනේ. Payment make LC conditions it will be paid on 31st December. 31st December. 31st December pay කරන්න ඕනේ එක sorry 31st January pay කරන්න ඕනේ එක දැන් අරලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. අපි reimbursement claim එක යවන්න ඕනේ 10 days prior to the predetermined date. ඒ 20th පහුවෙලා තමයි අපි ඒක යවන්න ඕනේ. හරි. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි කියන්න ඕන යවන්න ඕන දැන් යවන්න නම් specifically we have to mention the value date. Right? If the reimbursing bank disregards the reimbursement claim, they have to inform the claiming bank by teletransmission. Important. Duplication of a reimbursement authorization. Duplication of a reimbursement authorization. Issuing bank must not, upon receipt of documents, give a new reimbursement authorization or additional instructions unless they constitute an amendment to or cancellation of an existing reimbursement authorization. If the issuing bank does not comply with the above and the duplicate reimbursement is made, it is the responsibility of the issuing bank to obtain the return of the amount of the duplicate reimbursement. The reimbursing bank assumes no liability or responsibility for any consequences that may arise from any such duplication. Right? When you make it සාමාන්‍යයෙන් two questions වලට එන ඒවා duplication of a reimbursement authorization මේක තියලා සමහර වෙලාවට මේ negotiating bank එක without claiming the money, they will send the documents to the issuing bank. They will send the documents to the issuing bank. එහෙම ආවොත් අපි මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ? Issuing bank එක. Without claiming. LC එකේ clearly කියලා තියෙනවා that you have to claim money from the reimbursing bank කියලා. එහෙම තියෙද්දි මේගොල්ලෝ එල්ල සල්ලි ඉල්ලනවා. Right? The issuing bank must go back to the negotiating bank and tell them, please claim money as per the investment authorization. Please claim money as per the reimbursement instructions. Reimbursement instructions here. Abhi mein ganda negotiating bank ekata kiyana. So then they should claim money. Nathang wenne megolo mehe claim karala මෙයා ඒක say those people can claim the money because these people are not bothered about the expiry date, so they will pay. Duplicate payment tag and once these people have received the thing, if they will see some of the they will claim for that. Right? We let to cancel the reimbursing instructions. Reimbursement authorizations, we let to cancel it. Then only we have to pay. The Eva Karla make confirmation in account, we should not pay these people. Reimbursing banking, reimbursement authorization, cancel Karla, we had a confirmation that in account, we should not pay the negotiating bank. It can lead to duplication. Or else you can simply ask them to adhere to the reimbursement instructions in the LC. Adhere to it. Right? Foreign laws and usage. Disclaimer on transmission. Disclaimer on transmission of messages. The reimbursing bank assumes no liability or responsibility for consequences arising out of delay, loss of transit, mutilation, or any other errors. LC UCP 600 again, force measure, right? Acts of God, they will not civil commotions, insurrections, acts of God, riots, wars, acts of terrorism, or any strikes or lockouts, any other causes, COVID-19 and everything beyond its control. Right? Article 16. This is important. Charges. Charges ko mat important hai system. Reimbursing banks charges are for the account of the issuing bank. Reimbursing banks charges are for the account of all charges paid by the reimbursing bank to the amount of the authorization, provided that the claiming bank indicates the amount of such charges. If the issuing bank fails to provide the reimbursing bank with instructions regarding charges, all charges shall be for the account of the issuing bank. Nominating bank again ganne කියලා කියලා නැත්නම් ගත්තේ නැත්නම් ඒව ගෙවන්න වෙන්නේ issuing bank එකට. Interest claims, loss of value. Any claims for loss of interest, loss of value due to any exchange rate fluctuations, revaluations or devaluations are between the claiming bank and the issuing bank, unless such losses result from the non-performance of the reimbursing bank under reimbursement undertaking. Reimbursement undertaking එක දුන්නොත් විතරයි reimbursing bank එක liable, otherwise between the claiming bank and the issuing bank. Any losses, loss of value or anything. I've covered most of the things. I skipped few areas which I didn't want to discuss with you people to burden you with more things. Right? I want to questions make a number one. A reimbursing bank has a maximum of how many banking days following the day of receipt of a reimbursement claim in which to process it? What's the answer? A, B, C, or D?
B.
What is the answer? What is the correct answer? කෙනෙක් මොකද්ද කිව්ව මට ඇහුනේ නැහැ. අපෝ කියන්න බෑ. Answer is
B.
B. 3. Number 2, which of the following is not, which of the following is not a true statement? Reimbursement may be made subject to UCP 600 subarticle 13B and C. That's true. reimbursement may be made subject to URR 725. Ekat hari. Reimbursement may be made subject to URR 725 and UCP 600 subarticle 13B and C. D. Reimbursement may be made subject to URR 725 with certain modifications or exclusions made in the reimbursement authorization. Ekat hari. Meke වැරදි එක තමයි not reimbursement answer C. Which of the following is not a true statement? Make a වැරදි. Reimbursement may be made subject to URR 725 and UCP 600 and remain or මේ වගේ අතවත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ අහුවේ මේ වගේ දුන්න ගමන් මල්ටිපල් ට්‍රිකි එකයි ආන්සර් සතරම එක වගේ C එකත් හරිය කියලා හිතන්නේ නේ ඒක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ගන්න පුළුවන් D එකට අගුණා D එකත් හරි and issuing instructions to a reimbursing bank requesting issuance of a reimbursement undertaking subject to URR 725 must indicate which of the following. What is the answer? A, B, C, or D?
A.
Answer is
A.
A. Mana dulu nama?
Rajita.
Who is that?
Rajita.
Rajita. Good. Good guess. I don't know the guess, but it's a good guess. Right? Latest date for presentation of a claim, including the usance period. Ekata daanone. Immaterial. Immaterial. Whether it's comply with the rate terms, immaterial. Right? If the partial drawings are allowed, immaterial. If it is partial drawings, they will it's 100,000. They will send a claim for 50,000. They will, right? Okay. මේක කරන්න පුළුවන්ද පොඩ්ඩක් අමාරුයි මේක මම ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක ඩිස්කස් කළාද නැත්නම් කියලා මට ෂුවර් නෑ මේකේ number 4 එකේ correct answer කියන්නේ how should the reimbursing bank proceed වෙලා තියෙන්නේ reimbursing bank has received a valid claim under the reimbursement undertaking and is simultaneously instructed by the issuing bank not to honor the claim. Main claim එක ආවා මේන් ඉල්ලගෙන දැන් honor කරන්න එපයි කියලා. In accordance with the URR 725, how should the reimbursing bank proceed? Very sorry. Issuing bank issued another claim to the company. No, tonight, good banks investment charge මේවට යන්නේ නැත්තේ. If the bank is weak in their practices, the knowledge of the staff and all, right? මේ වගේ බුල් ගහනවා. එතකොට issuing bank එකේ responsible වෙනවා account එකෙන් something ගිහින් මේක පහ කරන්න පුළුවන් ගන්නට. In the event that a reimbursing bank does not honor a claim under reimbursement authorization, for which no reimbursement undertaking has been issued, who is responsible under URR 75 for the interest in the delay in reimbursement? What is the answer?
Answer B.
Answer B. Always the issuing bank. Always the issuing bank. Always the issuing bank. Okay. I think that's it for URR 75. If you have any questions, please ask me. If you have any questions, please ask me. You know that. Questions, you know that? Right. Eman, politika padang karanna. URL questions, everybody sub questions, එකක් හෝ දෙකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. Right? ඒකින්ද ඔය ටික බලන්න. Right? Now, I think with that I have completed the syllabus. But now the important thing, very, very important thing. I have given you 2 specimen past papers. The past papers දෙකම අපි ඔයගලන්ට දීපුවා මේ කලින් කට්ටියට දීපුවා. I have given this for you to get some idea about the exam, right? අපි දැන් මේ ටික discuss කරලා බලමු. අදයි next week week. Very important these few days, right? Very important. අපි මේක discuss කරලා බලමු කොහොමද කියලා. You can see this and you can scroll it and ඔයගන්න මේ බලන්න පුළුවන් නේද මේ ඔයගලන්ගේ මේ
Sir, they did not upload these documents.
they have not. Sure? What about other people? මම ඔය නැද්ද? Huh?
Yesterday they have uploaded.
Huh? Yesterday they have uploaded.
They have.
So
Yeah.
that means you are having it now, right? So you are having it.
Not been printed out yet.
Huh? Sorry. I'm sorry.
They uploaded in the evening. That's why we are unable to obtain printout yet.
Print out it. Yeah, but you can scroll it and scroll down and there.
Yes.
All right. And then you can read the thing, print out saragana passe me karaganna. Question number 1. Can you go through it and do this facility sum? 20 marks sum question. Can you do this facility sum? Right? Make a balala karanna. I'll have a cup of tea and come. Give me about 10 minutes. I'll be back in 10 minutes. But meanwhile, I want you to attempt this question. 15 minutes යනකොට මට පුළුවන් ඔයගලගේ answers ගන්න. හරිම ලේසි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ hina වෙයි දන්නේ නැහැ. මෙච්චර ලේසියව දෙන්න එපයි කියලා කියයි දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකෙන් ඔය කරලා බලන්න. Right? Okay. It is up to you. But I want the answers. I am not going to do the whole thing. If you support me, I can go by next week. There will be certain questions. Can't help. Right? ඔයගලන්ගෙන් එන්න ඕන feedback එක පටපට ගන්න. Right. ඔය කරන්න බලන්න. ඔක කරලා ඉවරෙච්ච කට්ටිය මේව සම් එකක් තියෙනවා ඒකත් කරන්න බලන්න. The other one is ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ මෙන්න මේකට යන්න. question number 3 එකට යන්න. multiple choice එක. එකත් කරන්න ඊට පස්සේ අපි ඒකත් කරලා 1 එකයි 3 එකයි කරලා මම 2 එක එන්න. right? okay. දැන් ඉවරෙච්ච කට්ටිය පටන් ගන්න 3 එක. If you do it, you are the winners, right? Okay. If you don't do it, you are the loser. Fine. Right. Here we go. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, fine. මගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ ඇහුවට පස්සේ මට මගේම ලැජ්ජා හිතුණා. Can you hear me කියලා ටෙලිඩ්‍රාමා ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. නේද? ඔබේ දවස්වල තිබෙන ටෙලිඩ්‍රාමා එක. Trade Lanka Company is a limited liability company engaged in business of wholesale and retail trade of toys. They have been in the business for the last 5 years and have been purchasing items from a local intermediary who import from manufacturing in China. You have granted them overdraft facilities and short-term loans in the past to finance their working capital requirements. Due to the cancellation of banking facilities of the local intermediary, now they have requested TLC to directly open documentary trades, favoring the Chinese supplier. The managing director of TLC has approached your bank seeking facilities for imports. Right? Preamble එකේ තියෙන පොඩි ස්ටෝරි එකක්. Normally, practically, this is what is happening. All this time, they were doing business buying locally from an intermediary party. But now, intermediary party is no more. So they want, the Chinese party, they want the TLC to open LCs directly. Right? The managing director of TLC, I mean, they were clueless about LCs and all. So they have approached your bank seeking facilities for imports. Following details were submitted at the discussion. Right? All imports have to be done on letters of credit. Company expects to import $50,000 worth of goods monthly. Goods are expected within 1 month after establishing the documentary credit. On receipt of the goods, they are immediately sold in the local market on credit. Generally, it takes 120 days to convert goods into cash. Right? Supplier is willing to offer 90 days credit from the date of receipt of documents at your bank with no extra cost. Normally, documents will be received on time to clear the goods. 25% custom duty has to be paid for each import. All other overhead expenses will be borne by the company from its own funds. You are required to structure a package of facilities to meet the customer's requirements, indicating the basis on which the revolving credit limit for each facility was computed. The facility shall be made available in Sri Lanka rupees, assuming the rate of exchange to be $1 equals to ATR 180. Easy. Right? Line, right here, goods plus documents. They open the LC. LC is for US dollars 50,000. US dollars 50,000. It takes 1 month from the time we open the LC. It will take 1 month to receive the goods and the documents.
Sir, can't see, it's too high.
Can't see. Too high. May I hurry?
Okay, sir.
Fine. So LC is for US dollars 50,000. Then after 1 month, they will receive the goods plus documents. Right? Once they receive the goods, they will sell, and it takes 120 days to convert the goods into cash. So they will get the cash, the payment, the cash, after 120 days. 120 days can be how many months? 4 months, where? 4 months. It will take 4 months for them to get the cash. Supplier is willing to offer 90 days credit from the date of receipt of documents at your bank. Within the 90 days, supplier is willing to give you a facility. Again, DA 90 days can 3 months. You get 3 months. Only after 3 months you have to do the payment of accepted draft. Payment of accepted draft. Right? Make it 1 month. Loan 1 month. Now this is the entire transaction. Now we'll go for the facilities. Facility number 1, revolving LC facility to issue letter of credit, right? Revolving LC can be made, right? Revolving facility to issue LCs. Right? When you open the LC, what is the lead time of the LC? What should be the lead time of the LC? What should be the lead time of the LC? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
It's can hear you.
Yeah, okay, fine. So what is the lead time?
30 days.
30 days. 30 days can be 1 month, right? 30 days can be 1 month. But a hand over the take a month, the end, take it to live with them, make it 3 marks somewhere, you can mark 2 marks somewhere. You are US dollars 50,000 into how many times? How many times? Into how many times? 1, 2,
1.
1 into 1. US dollars 50,000 into into 180 rupees equals to AKR right? What is the second facility? Revolving. Once we receive the documents here, we have to accept the documents because it's 30 days, not 30 days, 90 days DA, 90 days DA, 90 days DA, revolving acceptance facility. Revolving acceptance facility. Question. US dollars 50,000 into US dollars 50,000 into how many times? Before we settle the first payment of accepted draft, how many such drafts we have to accept? Come on. Exam get to why you are silent? Then half an hour to calling. Comment a color. Can you tell? What's the lead time? Am I? Go answer again. What's the lead time for the acceptance? You will be getting 3 months lead time to settle the first loan, first acceptance. Until you settle the first one, how many such bills you have to accept? No answer. How many such? Sorry, some disturbances. How many such such bills? What are the answers in there? You can hear me, or what about then? Out gila no connections. Come on. Ikpan them parapina mega then. 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the what's the lead time?
4 months.
4 months.
3 months.
4
3 months.
3 months.
How they can answer that, but it's not clear.
3 months.
4 months remain.
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. Supply is willing to 90 days credit. Right? Within that 3 months, how many bills you have to accept? 3 bills. Right? 3 bills. Look at the enemy. US dollars 150,000 into 180 equals to LKR. Yeah. Right? Number 3. Now we'll have to pay the bill after 90 days. We have to pay the first bill. Take it up in the short term revolving can be important. Revolving short term import loan facility to settle, import loan facility to settle accepted bills. Revolving short-term import loan facility to settle accepted bills. Right? The first payment will be after 90 days. So the bill value is US dollars 50,000 into how many such bills we have to settle before we receive the cash. The make it up a pay color within the 30
days.
30 days, 1 month.
1 month.
Right? And what is the lead time? Lead time is 1 month. 1 US dollars 50,000 into 180 is equals to LKR. Right? 4. The thing, the making right. Now, custom duty, 25% custom duty has to be paid for each import. So, take it up in the revolving TOD or loan facility. Importer loan facility for custom duty. For custom duty. Right? US 25% custom duty. The amount again 50,000 correct?
12,500.
US dollars 12,500 into how many? How many times?
4.
4. 4. Very good. Again, US dollars 50,000 into 180 ATR. It's right. 15 marks. Right? 15 marks. Right. Very important. You are required to structure a package of facilities to meet the customer's requirement, indicating the basis on which the revolving credit limit for each facility was computed. Indicating the basis. So that means you have to write the basis, right? Okay. Then the second part lists 5 types of short-term facilities available to exporters. Five types of short-term facilities available to exporters. Something wrong. What happened? ඇතට කරලා කියන්න බන්. කිව්ව එක ඇහුන්නේ නැහැ.
PCL.
PCL. Packing crate loan there?
Yeah.
Right. ඒක full name එක කියන්න. නැත්නම් මට ඇහුනේ නිකන් PCR වගේ එහෙමසුන්ට COVID-19 PCR කරනවා වගේ. හරි? PCL packing crate loans, right? Very good. 1 I got. Some more.
Bill discounting.
Bill discounting, very good. One more. Come on. Export bill discounting hari. තව එකක්. Something goes hand in hand with that. Bill discounting ගොඩක් collection වලත් වෙනවනේ. LCs වල එනවනම් අපි මොනවද කරන්නේ? Export bill negotiation. Export bill negotiation. තව එකක් කියන්නේ. දැන් තුනක් කිව්වා. තවනේ? Various types of special export facilities, red clause LCs, bills under red clause LCs. There's also facilities available to exporters. ඕක ඇත්ත මම දීලා 8ක්ද 9ක්ද මම දීලා ඇති under financing options. Under financing options මම ඕක දීලා ඇති. ඒක බලලා හදාගන්න. බලන්න ඒක list කරන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. නම් ටික facilities පහ ලියුවා නම් ලකුණු 5ක් හම්බ වෙනවා. Right? Okay. Now manager trade right, make a අපි කරමු දෙකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා මම කොන තුන පටන් අරන් ඉන්නේ කියලා. ඒකෙන්ද ඒක questions ටික කරගෙන ඉවරලා අපි අනිත් එකට යමු. Answer the following multiple choice questions as appropriate. Each sub-question carries 2 marks. Just write the number of subsection and the correct answer A, B, C or D. The multiple choice questions වලට answer කරද්දී මේ මුකුත් ලියන්න එපා. ඔකට දාන්න ඕනේ 3, 1 කීයද? Aද Bද Cද Dද කියලා විතරයි ලියන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? පේලි 10න් ලකුණු 20ක් එනවා. Right. Which of the following is true of a second advising bank? Second advising bank. A second advising bank is utilized by the advising bank to advise a credit to the beneficiary. A second advising bank is named in the credit to advise a credit to the beneficiary. Either of the two above. A, B or C. Now, ඔගොල්ලෝ බලා ගන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ව මාක් කරලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ කළා නම් කීයක් හරිද කියලා. මොකද උත්තරේ? A, B or C?
Answer B.
Answer B.
B, second one.
Second one. Any other answers? Any other answers? A second advising bank is named in the credit to advise a credit to the beneficiary. Yes. Then what about A? A second advising bank is utilized by the advising bank to advise a credit to the beneficiary. That also can happen. That also can happen. Read the article 9. Right? A second advising bank is Dekamahari. A and B both are correct. So the correct answer is C. Either of the above. Either of the above is the correct answer. Okay. For which of the following settlement types must a draft be required to be present for presentation? Draft present කරන්න ඕනේ මොන settlement type එකේද?
C.
Answer is C. Acceptance. Negotiation එකේදී draft එකක් වුණා deferred payment draft එකක්. ඇත්තෙම නැහැ. Payment එකේදී අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Right? C එකට වුණා acceptance. Okay. A marine bill of lading acts as an acknowledgement of receipt of the goods by the carrier, evidence of a contract of carriage, a document of title for the goods, evidence of the contract between the seller and the forwarding agent. Right? That's the correct answer. Make a Uganda on the short note. What is the correct answer? A, B, C, or D? We'll go one by one. An acknowledgement of receipts of the goods by the carrier. Is it correct?
Yes.
It is true. Second one, evidence of
It's
a
also
contract.
true.
That is also true. Third one,
That one also true.
that is also true. Fourth one,
It's wrong.
no, that is not true. We don't Maran bill of lading a contract. So the correct answer is 1, 2, and 3 only. Answer is C. Correct answer is C. Right? When an advising bank adds confirmation to a documented credit, which of the following risk has the beneficiary mitigated? Which of the following risk has the beneficiary mitigated? Issuing bank, foreign exchange, political, fraud. Once they add confirmation to a credit, which of the following risk has the beneficiary mitigated?
Answer A.
Answer A.
First one. Yes, first one.
Very good. Answer A. Issuing bank risk and the political risk. That is country risk. Bank risk and the country risk. Others we are not covered. Very good. The issuance of a bank guarantee offers an applicant little risk because it covers only the non-payment of an open account or documentary collection transaction. Because it covers only the non-payment of an open account or documentary collection transaction. Is this statement true or false?
This is false. False.
It is false. Why? Why you say false?
It is not only non-payment.
Huh?
It is not only non-payment.
Then yeah, not only non-payment, it is covers the performance of the parties also, right? The non-performance non-payment the answer false. Correct. 6. An exporter sells goods overseas on FOB and CIF Incoterms, respectively. The exporter sells goods overseas on FOB and CIF Incoterms. Who is responsible for the freight charges in each? Who is responsible for freight charges in each? A, B, C, and D.
Answer D.
Answer B or D? B, second.
D, last one.
Last one. Is it correct? What about others? Answer. Any other answers? Oh, girls and other. Kattiya misinda. Kattiya misinda. Nadde lamai. Tisayak inno. Oh lamai. Any other answers? Quickly. මේ question එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි කරන්න දෙන්නේ. Right? Answer is A. FOB importer, CIF exporter. Any other answers? පන්ති හිටියන ළමයිගෙන් අහන්න තුන අත උස්සන්නේ කියලා දැන් දන්නේ නැහනේ. The correct answer is A. In FOB, the freight charges has to be done by the importer. අර ඉස්සරගේ පුතාගේ answer එක වැරදි. FOB exporter නෙමෙයිනේ, importer. CIF එකේ දෙන්නේ exporter. So the correct answer is A. Answer number 1. Good. What is the meaning of the Incoterm CIF? A, B, C, D.
B.
Answer is B.
B. Answer B.
Cost, insurance and freight. Good. When an applicant requests the presentation of a document, such as an inspection or analysis certificate, what type of conditions should be expressed in the application form? What types of conditions should be expressed in the application form? Name or type of issuer, the data content, the standard or quality to which the goods are to be inspected or analyzed, all of the above. Inspection or analysis certificate take මොනවද තියෙන්න ඕන contents. Common sense උගන්න දෙන්නේ. පාඩම් කරන දේවල් නෑ මේවට.
B.
Answer is B the QA.
All of
Huh? Not B.
D.
D. All of the above. D. අපේ reception වල පොඩි upset එකක් තියෙනවා. A credit facility will usually cover which of the following? අපේ RMs ලා තින්නවනේ ගොඩක් උතන යන්න බන උත්තරේ. A credit facility will usually cover which of the following? The maximum amount that may be outstanding. The period for which the facility will be available. Whether partial shipments or drawings may be allowed. The maximum usage period for any documentary credit. A, B, C, D, E. What the hell?
Last one.
Answer is
E. Answer E.
E. All of them there.
Oh, sir.
Where are they?
Answer C.
Answer C. Answer C can be 2, 3 and 4. 2, 3 and 4. 2 is correct. 3, whether partial shipments or drawings may be allowed. Make a LCA condition. Make a facility, trade facility ke liye anne. Right? Partial shipments allowed then nothing LCA condition. 3 out. එහෙනම් මොකද උත්තරේ? So answer C is also incorrect.
D.
Correct answer is D. A, B, C, D. The maximum amount that may be outstanding is again donor. Period for which the facility will be available in donor. Third එක වැරදි. Maximum usage period for any documented rate. ඒකත් අපි කියනවා. Right? Facility එක. According to UCP 600, Article 8, a confirming bank is irrevocably bound to honor or negotiate from when?
Answer B.
Answer
B.
B.
D.
Answer B. තව දුවෙක් මොකක්ද කිව්වා මට?
Answer D.
D. D කියන්නේ 4ද? මේක මම හිතන්නේ පුතේ මෙහේ රිසෙප්ෂන් මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොගේම ඒවා වර්ධින්න විදියක් නැහැ නේ. එක්කෙනෙක් කෝ 2 කියලා අනිත් එක්කෙනෙක් කෝ 4 කියලා. Any other answers? The answers දෙකක් තියෙනවා. Any other answers? Any other answers? Right. Both answers are wrong. What is the correct answer? Article 8 එක බලන්න ඕන. Article 8 එක කියලා බලන්න. Correct answer is C. When it issues its advice of confirmation. From that point, they are irrevocably bound. Correct answer is C. Alright? Okay. මම හිතන්නේ කවුරුක්වත් පහක් හයක්වත් හරියට කිව්වා. හරි ඇති කියලා. 8කට වැඩි කට්ටිය ඉන්නවද? හරියට උගල කරලා try එකක් දීලා ගත්ත කට්ටිය 8කට වැඩි. ඔය ඒ කියන්නේ මදි ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩක් තව පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන. Right. Question number 2. But with that, before waiting for the last moment, I just want to tell you, next week will be the last class. Next week will be the last class of yours, right? Then examination date, don't ask me. That's as per the UCP 600 article 36 Klabankone, force measure. Acts of God කියන විදිහට තමයි exam date එක දාන්න වෙන්නේ. Right? දෙවෙනි එක තමයි next week we are going to discuss we are continuing the 2 papers. We are continuing the 2 papers, and apart from that, if you are having any other issues, gray areas of like padang kalam dan padang karlat me, තියෙනවා නම් ඒකත් මට කියන්න. ඒකත් කියන්න. එතකොට අපිට දාට ඔයගලගේ මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් මම ඒක සාකච්ඡා කරන්න. Okay. මේකේ forex sum එක මම ඉතුරු කරනවා. මම forex sum එක ඉතුරු කරනවා. මොකද හේතුව මෙතන හදන්න දුන්නොත් අපරාධ time waste වෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගෙදෙද්දි forex sum එක කරන්න. අනිත් එකේ sums දෙකමත් කරන්න. ඔය තුනම කරලා තමයි එන්න ඕනේ අනිත් දවසේ ක්ලාස් එකට උත්තරත් එක්ක. මම යවුවාම කියන යන්න තුනෝ. අනිත් ඒවා ඩිස්කස් කරමු. You are the manager of the trade services department of your bank. The following import documentary collection received by your bank, subject to ICC uniform rules for collection URC 522, are referred to you for your decision. State your position under the rules and outline what action you would take in the following circumstances. In your answers, you are required to state the relevant article numbers of URC 522 where applicable. A. You have received a DA bill and you release the bill of exchange to the drawee for acceptance. Drawee has returned the accepted bill of exchange, which purports to bear the stamp of the drawee company. Right? Which should accept. As you do not hold the account of the company concerned, you do not know whether the person who has signed it is authorized to do so. Who has signed it is authorized to do so. As you do not hold the account of the company concerned, you do not know whether the person who has signed it is authorized to do so. What is the answer? What is the article? What is the article? Article 22. Very good. Say then what is the answer? What is the answer? Article 22, Hari. So what is the answer? As you do not hold the account, do we need to worry about the signing powers of the signatory to the acceptance? No. Right? But if they have put the correct company stamp and all, that is more than enough. Right? The presenting bank is responsible for seeing that the form of the acceptance of a bill of exchange appears to be complete and correct, but is not responsible for the genuineness of any signature or for the authority of any signatory to sign the acceptance. They are not responsible. Under Article 22. Very good. Then, name the two types of documentary collection and give a brief definition of both types. Also list down any specific risks to exporters in both occasions. Name the two types of documentary collection. What are they? Name the two types of documentary collection. Also list down any specific risk to exporters in both occasions. What are the two types of come on. ළමයි එක්කෙනෙක්වත් නැද්ද මට ආන්සර් කරන්න?
Documentary gain acceptance and documentary gain payment.
Name of the two types of documentary collections. Yes. DA and DP. Very good. Now, that you name. Give a brief definition of both types. Can you write that? If it is DP means documents against payment, the first to obtain the documents, the importer or drawee has to pay the bill. Then only they will receive the document. Then the other type is DA. The drawee has to accept the draft to be paid on a future date, and then the documents will be, shipping documents will be released to them. Right? Okay. Then list down any specific risk to the exporters in both occasions. DP, what are the risks? What are the DP risks? I have notes වලින්ම දීලා තියෙනවා ඔයගලන්ට. මේවා notes දීලා තියෙනවා. හරි? DA risk මම notes දීලා තියෙනවා. පාඩම් කළා නැහැ. ඔයගලගේ exam උත් මේ වගේම ගිහිල්ලා එකපාරට government එකකින් relax කර ගමන් exam එක තියාවි. පාඩම් කරලා නැත්නම් පාඩම් කරන වෙලාවක් හම්බෙන්නේ නැත. හරි. ඒකෙන්ද පාඩම් කර කර තියාගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. Update වෙවි. That is a problem under this COVID situation. You have to keep on studying. We don't know. Any given time, they will give you at least 2 weeks notice for the exam. Too late with all other engagements. Right? ඒකෙන්ද දැම්මම පාඩම් කරලා තියාගන්න. මේවා දෙකම මම දීලා තියෙනවා risk. Under collection මගේ note එක ඇතුලේ. C. What action would you take on dishonor? would your answer be of any different if your customer explained that the reason for non-payment was a dispute over a quality of goods shipped? What action you would take on dishonor? Adene. May dishonor what action you can take? May DA bill he has accepted and we have released the documents. He has cleared the goods. Now he says, I'm not paying. The reason given for second part again. Now it is, now I am not paying, right, due to some dispute. What is your position? What action you would take?
We can protest.
You can protest. Very good. Article 24. Article 24 explain you can protest. Second part. Would your answer be any different if your customer explained that the reason for non-payment was a dispute over the quality of the goods? The quality of the goods, make a reason again. So would there be any different answer in that scenario?
Based on the quality of goods, we cannot reject that payment.
So would there be any different in your answers for dishonor? Quality of goods in the
Answer would be the same.
huh?
Answer would be the same.
මට මේ ස්පීකර් එක අප්සෙට් එකක් වෙන්නේ නැති නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොගෙම හරි පුතාගේ වුණා හොඳට ඇහෙනවා මට ඇහුනේ නැහැ හරියට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ කිව්ව එක කියන්න බන්න ආපහු හෙලි
Answer would be the same as the above.
Answer should be it should be same as the previous one.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, we have nothing to do with the goods. We are only dealing with documents. Documentary collection, we are only dealing with documents. But the goods can have a trust. So we can go ahead and do the protesting. Okay, fine. Piye kapi kalani. Oye ka bani. Ama මේක කරන්නේ නැහැ මේක මං කියවනේ ඔයගලන්ට ගෙදරදී කරගෙන ඉන්න කියලා මම දවසේ කරනවා මතක තියාගන්න මට මතක් කරන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ කළාට පස්සේ මම කරන්න ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක what this one entrepot trade has been an area which the government has been very keen to develop to boost export earnings. Briefly describe how an entrepot transaction operates. Right? Briefly describe how an entrepot transaction operates. Can you describe? Because I have given it very clearly in my note, right? And how it is happening, what is entrepot trade, and then මේකට මේ උත්තර ලියනකොට මේකට මේ පාර රිපීට් එක්සෑම් එකේ ක්වෙස්චන් එකක් මේක. බට් අන්තිමට ළමයි දුන්න රිපීට් එක්සෑම් එකේ ක්වෙස්චන් එකක්. එතකොට මේකේ when you are describing how an entrepôt trade transaction operates කියන එක, before that you have to explain what is entrepôt trade. What is entrepôt?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, this one we did for as our assignment. You given this thing for our assignment already.
Thank you so much. එහෙනම් මම ඩිස්කස් කරන්නේ නැතත් ඔක්කොම කට්ටිය දීලාත් නැහැ උත්තරේ. Very good. පැන්න අනිත් එකට. මට ඔය දුන්නා වගේ මතකයි දුන්නේ. Right, okay. එහෙනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරලා වෙන්නකො ඊට පස්සේ අපි බලමු. තමන් ඩෙඩ්ලයින් එක පන්නලා නැහැ තියෙන්නේ. assignment එකේ. assignment එකේ ඩෙඩ්ලයින් එක පන්නලා නැහැ තියෙන්නේ. දුන්නද ඔක්කොම?
Yes, it was.
Everybody has handed over. මෙයා ඉඳන් කතා එකෙන දින කෙන්න දිනා කියලා. ගොඩක් කට්ටිය දුන්නා එකෙන දින කෙන්න දිනා කියලා. මේක මට මතක් කරන්න මම next week මම ඩිස්කස් කරනවා. හැබැයි මේ week එකෙන් පස්සේ accept කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේවා මොනවද ඒවට කියන්නේ answers. Right? දැන් මට ඔයගොල්ලෝ අවුරුදු මම එකනේ ලියාගෙන ඉවරලා මට මේවා කියන්න ඕන. මම පේපර් එකේ මම මාක් කරගන්නම් මොනවද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කලේ නැති ඒවා කියලා. මම number 4 කලේ නැහැ. Then number 6 කලේ නැහැ. Number 6 කලේ number 5 කලේ නැහැ. Number 6 now. Right? What are the main functions of a bill of lading? What are the main functions of a bill of lading? Give me the answer. අඩුම ගානේ functions තුන කිව්වොත් ලකුණු තුනක්වත් එනවා. ඊට පස්සේ පොඩ්ඩක් explain කරන්න විතරයි දෙන්නේ. හරි ලේසි මේ question එක. Right? What are the main functions of a bill of lading? Come on, lamai. මෙහෙම මොඩියු ටිකක් නේ මැට්ටු ටිකක් නෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ළමයි කපටි නෑ. මැට්ටු පමණයි කපටි නැත. හරි හොඳ ළමයි. කපටිකම කොහෙන්වත් ගෑවිලා නෑ. අපි වගේ කෙනෙක්ට මේක හම්බුනා නම් උත්තරේ දුක් ගාලා දෙනවා. කපටි කෙනෙක්ට. මේක උත්තරේ මම දීලා තියෙන්නේ. What are the main functions of bill of lading? Under MCQ questions. Question number 3 ද කොහෙද MCQ වල? බලන්නකො උත්තර ටික බලන්නකො. What are the main functions of a bill of lading? උත්තරය එතන තියෙනවා. ඒක මෙතෙන්ට අරන් කොපි කරන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒක මම කිය ළමයි කපටි නැහැ ළමයි හරි හොඳයි කියලා අහිංසකයි. හැබැයි මැට්ටුවා අරක කල්පනා කරන්න තියෙන්න ඕන. දැක්ක නේද? උඩේ එකේ තියෙනවනේ අපි. a memorandum bill of lading access, an acknowledgement of receipts of the goods by the carrier. There's one. Evidence of a contract of carriage, a document of title for the goods. ඔය තුන්නේ memorandum bill of lading එකේ main important criteria එක ඔය තුන දෙනවා 1 2 3 නේ ඕක ටක් ගාලා මෙතනින් කපලා අතන ලියුවා නම් අඩු ගානේ ලකුණු පහෙන් තුනක්වත් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම දෙන්න ඕන මට. ඒතර ටික ඔයගොල්ලෝ එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරලා යන්න පුළුවන්. right ඒකද හරියට කල්පනාවෙන් පේපර් එකත් රීඩ් කරනවා මේ සමහර ඒවා උත්තර සමහර ඒවා ඇතුළෙම තියෙනවා. Briefly describe what is a shipping guarantee and how it operates. How we are going to answer a question like this. Briefly describe what is a shipping guarantee and how it operates. What is a shipping guarantee? What is a shipping guarantee? ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා මේ උත්තර කියන්න. මේක දන්නේ නැහැ කියලා කියන්න බෑ. ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා. What is the shipping guarantee? උත්තර දුන පුතයි දුවයි ඒ ටික කට්ටියවත් කියන්න බෑ.
When original documents have not been presented, bank is issuing a copy documents to
The bank. Wait. අනේ පුතේ ඔයාලා ලස්සනට කිව්වා. වගේ වොයිස් එකත් හරියට මට ඇහුණා. ඔයා එක වරක්දක් කළා. When the original documents have not been presented, the bank is issuing the copy documents. No. Bank is not issuing any copy documents.
The beneficiary, the
Yeah.
importer.
Yeah. They are important based on the copy documents. Based on the copy invoice and the BL. AAT. Based on the copy invoice and the BL. Copy invoice and the BL. Okay. Now go ahead. හරි එතන නවත්තලා දෙන්න මම කියන්නේ ඔයා හරි ඉස්සෙල්ලා හොඳට ඇහුණා දැන් මට බැන්නවද කොහෙද එතකොට if the documents when the goods have been received, whereas the documents are not received, then we will issue a shipping guarantee with the strength of a copy BL and a copy invoice. Right? How it operates, so when we have not received, then the customer will obtain copy documents from the beneficiary. Customer will obtain copy documents from the beneficiary and then get a shipping guarantee application with application and the indemnity. And the indemnity indemnifying the bank for any losses. Right? Because we have to issue the shipping guarantee. So they have to submit us the indemnity, indemnifying the bank. Right? So based on that, and based on the customer's indemnity, the banks will issue a counter indemnity to the clearing or the shipping company. Counter indemnity to the shipping company, and requesting them to issue the delivery order. Requesting them to issue the delivery order. Right? ඊට පස්සේ how it operates තව කියන්න ඕන. ඊට පස්සේ කියන්න ඕන after receiving the original documents, this shipping guarantee has to be cancelled by submitting the original BL to the shipping agent. Original BL to the shipping agent. Right? And තව අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් normally the risk or the liability of the shipping guarantees are for 300% of the pro forma invoice or the computational invoice. 300% of the invoice value. Right? A 300% liability එකක් කියන්න ඕන. What are the risks faced by your bank in issuing shipping guarantees? What are the risks? What are the risks faced by your bank in issuing shipping guarantees? What are the risks?
Fraud risk.
Fraud risk. Okay. The main risk is you're simple. May පාඩම් ගන්න තියෙන දේවල් නෙමෙයි common sense.
Counter risk.
Counter risk. Counter risk of the customer there.
No, country risk.
Country risk. ඔය කොටම ඉස්සෙල්ලා තියෙන risk එක අපි යන්නේ මේ ගුණ වටේට අත දාලා නාය අල්ලන්නේ. තියෙන ලොකුම risk එක මොකද්ද?
Counterparty risk.
ගුණ යනවා පුතේ ලොකු බර වචන දාලා මාවත් හොරමන් කරලා යනවා නෑ. දැන් කිව්වනේ කොහොමද මේවා කැන්සල් වෙන්නේ අරමයි කියලා. එතකන් අපේ liability එක outstanding නේ. නම් මොකද්ද තියෙන ලොකුම risk එක?
Exchange rate risk.
What? No way. මොනවද ඔය කියන්නේ?
Credit risk.
Huh?
Credit risk.
Credit risk of the customer. Huh?
Yes.
ඒවා එල්ලන්න. ඔක්කොම sub risk ඔක්කොම main risk එක මොකද්ද?
Non-receipt of original document.
Original documents not received. එච්චරයි. තව මොනවද තියෙන risk එක? ලොකුම risk එක තියෙන එක. If the original documents are not received by the bank, then the bank won't be able to cancel the shipping guarantee. Then their liability will be outstanding indefinitely. Liability will be outstanding indefinitely until they receive the original documents. It's right. That's the main risk. ඊට පස්සේ තව එනවා customer risk, customer credit risk කරනවා. තව ඕගොල්ලෝ දේව දාලා ලියන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි දැන් customer ගේ credit risk එකක් එයි කියලා හිතන්න අමාරුයි. මෙන්න මේක හින්දා normally when we issue shipping guarantees, we always take 100% or 110% cash margin. 110% cash margin ganna. Or else we will mark it against the customer's facility. Facility lines වලට mark කරන්නේ. Facility lines වලට mark කරනවා කියන්නේ we have taken appropriate security documentation for that particular facility. ඒකෙන්ද අපිට ඒ facility එක cover වෙනවා කොහොමද? එහෙම නැත්නම් අපේ සුබක් කරන්න අපි ගන්න cash margin ගන්නවා. cash margin තියෙනවා නම් අපි ආපු ගමන් original documents ආපු ගමන් we debit the cash margin and take the money from the customer. Right? ඒ margin එක අපි තියන්නේ නැතුව අපි දෙන්නේ නැහැ. The main risk is not receiving the frauds වෙන්න පුළුවන්. frauds වෙන්න පුළුවන්. fraud risk එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ඔක්කොට වඩා තියෙන්නේ documents ආව නැත්නම් මුකුත් කරන්න බෑ. cannot be cancelled. තව එකක් දැන් ඔය cancellation එක අහම තව එකක් සමහර banks, some banks are facing another risk. Once you receive the original documents, you request the customer to give the shipping guarantee, cancel and bring the shipping guarantee to you, whereas they will never accede to the request. They will never accede to the request because they have already received the goods. They have sold the goods. Now they are not bothered. Right? We are at the mercy of the customer. What is marine insurance and why insurance cover is necessary in international trade? What is marine insurance? And why insurance cover is necessary in international trade? Make a man UCP 600 again, Article 28 there. Article 28 insurance documents and coverage තියෙනවා. මේක කියවලා බලලා මේකට හරි ආන්සර් එකක් හොයාගන්න. Normally marine insurance cover is, we obtain marine insurance cover to mitigate the risk of transit. Right? Nothing else. If the goods are damaged or lost or lost in transit or pirated during the voyage, everything is covered with the marine insurance. Right? And since in international trade, the goods are moving from one end of the world to the other end of the world, from east to west or west to east, right? So this type of cover is necessary regarding any damages or losses to the goods, right? Then the marine insurance cover is a must in international trade operation. The insurance covers can be classified into three categories, right? Category A, category B, and category C. Category A, B, and C. Category A means all risk covered. Category A means all risk covered. And category B, some risks are not covered. And category C are the basic risk only covered. Only the basic risks are covered. Right? And in category C, you can transact, but certain risks are not covered there, like jettison, riots, and civil commotions. Okay, they will in it. Basic even motor vehicles, third party insurance category C can like third party. Right? Damages good claims right? So that is what is insurance marine insurance and why insurance cover is necessary in international trade. ABC product maker. Normally, we take 110%. We are compelled to take 110% of the invoice value as the insurance cover, right? Insurance covers issue karane Sri Lanka rupees from the currency. It has to be under the currency of the bill. If the bill is received in US dollars, then the insurance cover will be showed in US dollars, not in rupees. Now, trend banks to give the insurance cover in Sri Lanka rupees. Sri Lanka rupees it's around sure $180, 180 rupees per dollar veneka, up to 195 loss whatever the currency of the bill. Whatever the currency of the bill. Local local rupees dollars sterling euro. Okay. Question number 7. Banks issue guarantees and bonds on behalf of contractors for large overseas projects. Explain the purpose of each of the 4 main types issued. What are the... First, tell me the 4 main types of bank guarantee. Normal guarantees, bonds and guarantees. What are the 4 types? 4 main types.
Bid bond.
Pardon?
Bid bond.
Bid bond. Very good. How?
Performance bond.
Huh?
Performance bond.
Bonds and guarantees. Bond. Bid bonds. Anything? Anything about performance score. Then
Advance payment.
advance payment. Guarantees. Other one?
Retention bond.
Retention bonds. Right. The may hatara then you have to explain the purpose of each of the 4 main types issued. Make it more. Explanations. Notes bandila thino. The may questions. Question number 6, 7. Lay 15 marks itra ganda pulang ewa. Devadeka turang katta kaman ugan exam ek pass karaganda amar wanne. Ethin dukai repeat exam ekat postgraduate ekil lamai fail leno. Yes, 2 weeks back I checked some of the repeat exam papers. මේ පාරත් තමයි fail. මොකක්ද පහක්ද? ඉතින් බලන්න repeat එකක් fail වුණාට පස්සේ උගලන්ට අනිත් එක complete කරගන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේකෙන්ද don't take it easily, take it seriously and do it. Right? Okay. අනිත් paper එක මම next week එකේ කරන්න මේකේ දෙකක් කරන්නත් තියෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරගෙන එන්න ඕන ඒ paper එකේ sums දෙකම කරගෙන එන්න ඕන. ඒ විතර නෙමෙයි අනිත් ඔක්කොම ටික කරගෙන එන්න. අඩු ගානේ points ටික ලියලා තියාගන්න. sums දෙක කරන්න, multiple choice එකත් කරන්න. අනිත් ඒවා points ටික ලියලා තියාගන්න. When we are discussing, just to discuss. Are there any areas you want me to discuss, or which you are not sure about certain areas, right? මට පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් මේව කරන්න මේ මෙයාට කියලෙව්වත් කමන්නේ. You are dealing with මේ කවුද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඩීල් කරන්නේ? කාලින්ගත් එක්ක නේද? You are dealing with කාලින්ගනේ. එතන කාලින්ගට එක ඊමේල් එකක් හරි දාලා කියන්න මට ඉන්ෆෝම් කරන්නයි කියලා. But don't wait for the last moment. Friday house හරි ඉන්ෆෝම් කරන්න එපා. කලින් ඉන්ෆෝම් කරලා කියන්න what are the areas you need to discuss කියන එක. හරි? Okay. Any other questions you want me to discuss? Right? Any other questions you want me to discuss? Right. If not, then there's no point of starting a new paper, new question. I'll call it a day. And next week, our final class will be at 1:15. Right? I was thinking of having it from home, but looks like I'll have to come to the institute again because there are about 3 questions. I had to do the sums on the board. Right? Okay. Any other questions? Tell me. I have time. I have time. Now it's your time. Now it's your time.
Sir,
Huh?
sir, when it come to that Nostro type of account, so let us assume that BOC in Sri Lanka, so they're having a bank in UK. So can we able to open that Nostro account with BOC for a brief?
Yeah, no issue. Because the same thing.
BOC Sri Lanka to UK branch?
Oh, put on the banks in same bank in 2 different countries. The branches will be treated as 2 different banks, ne?
Yes.
Two different banks, because that will be governed by UK law. Your Bank of Ceylon London branch is governed by UK law and Central Bank of London, UK. Right? මේ Central Bank regulation නෙමෙයිනේ කරන්නේ. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Anika, if I'm correct, I think you are doing the same thing. Your Sterling Nostro is your own bank. Much easier.
Okay.
Okay. Charges, penalty, ඒගොල්ලෝ ගහයි බරට ගහයි මේ head office branch එකට කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, practical things. One of the issues. The වෙනදට මට මේ ඔයගලන් ක්ලාසස් වලදී ගොඩාක් ළමයි මීට් වෙන හින්දා ගොඩාක් මීට් වෙන හින්දා issues හරියට කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ මගෙන් අහනවා ඔයගලන්ගේ බ්‍රාන්චස් වල වෙන දේවල් ඔයගලන්ට වෙච්ච දේවල් සමහරට දැන් ඔයගලන්ට so cause letters issue කරලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන් these from your bank for what you have done wrong, right? මේ වගේ ඒවා ගොඩක් ඒවා අහනවා දැන් නම් ඉතින් ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ එකක් තියෙන්නේ මේක openly ඔක්කොටම අහන්න වෙන්නේ yes record වෙනවනේ ඒක ප්‍රශ්නේ but you can ask the same question by without mentioning any names or anything. Right, anything else? ඒක තමයි බැංක් ඔෆ් ස්ලාන් එක එහෙම පීපල්ස් බැංක් එකේ හරියට ඉන්න තාම මට කෝල් කරන ළමයි හරියට ඉන්නවා මොකද දැන් මේ ඇහුවාම sir I was in your 2014 postgraduate class 2014 කියලා තමයි පටන් ගන්නෙ මෙහෙම ඉෂුව එකක් තියෙනවා මේ වගේ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මොකද කරන්නේ right මාත් ආසාවෙන් කියලා දෙනවා මොකද හේතුව ළමෙක් ගොඩ දාලා ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා බේර ගන්න බෑ right if you don't have anything thank you very much and wish you all happy new year once again stay safe and good night okay